Off to the gym. Let's go.
Look, I could be gone by the morning. So I'm keeping it on me. She said she don't love nobody. I told her I was heartless. She said she just wanna party. She fuck with bosses, boy, just watching.
Imagine making over $6 million in 1 month from your Shopify store. Well, that's exactly what you're gonna get to see today, holding nothing back. You're gonna get to see what it took to get here, the marketing, the best practices, the pro tips that don't get shared publicly. You're gonna get to see all that. And if you stay until the end, you're gonna get to see everything in the back end of the financials of a business doing over 6 million a month. And this is the man behind the brand, one of my best friends, Zara.
What up, guys? Yo, this feels weird, bro.
Not a YouTube guy?
I'm not used to YouTube.
I've known this cat for like 8 years. We actually started basically business together, building Instagram theme pages, selling shout out space. We traveled the world together, lived together in California for over a year, and both dove really heavy into e-commerce. So I'm gonna let him break down this brand, but dude, we've had some wild times together.
It's been a ride.
I said, girl, why you keep calling? I said, girl, why you keep calling? Yeah. She said, I need a new whip. Yeah, cause I know that you're still ballin'. She just wanna go back to the future, so I brought that girl a DeLorean. 21 minutes until I gotta go, so I told that girl I'm gonna slaughter it.
Now, before I have Zara take you through all the specifics, there is one critical thing that you need to understand that most people get wrong. It's that you need to focus on one thing, okay? You see, most people when they start, they're trying to diversify. They want to run ads on 4 platforms and start with 3 products. Look, that's not what you do, okay? To get to 100 grand a month is different from what he's doing at 6 million a month. I've always said you can go to $1 million a month minimum on any platform with just one product. So focus on that. There's probably not a market constraint until you're doing at least a couple $100 grand a month. But all right, let's go. Did you see how rich this guy is? He's got a big hole with a bunch of water. He just showed me this number that I haven't even seen behind this brand. This is way crazier than the sales number. What the hell? 72, bro, the highest I've ever seen is 55, and that's nuts. I don't think people who are not in the e-commerce space realize how insane that is.
2 things, good product and sell to women. Right, am I looking at the camera?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so my name's Zara. I've been building brands for, I don't know, since 2018. So 7-8 years now. This one specifically, we started in 2021. It's a beauty brand, which we're gonna dive deep into. I'm gonna spend the next couple minutes here just explaining how we got this to $6 million a month, which is crazy to me because I never thought I could even get a brand to $6 million a month. My goal has always been like $500,000 a month. I'm happy here and there. But things have changed, and a lot of it came from being in the right rooms and experience. So like me and Hayden go back and forth with all the experience we've had testing stuff and dropshipping before COVID happened or 2020, and things have changed. So when we started this brand, we were just on Facebook, Instagram, because that's my forte. So I used to be a media buyer back in the day. And I was like, how do I eliminate as much cost as possible? Do your own media buying. So I went on Facebook, Instagram, did really well. We got up to like, I don't know, maybe $300,000 a month on Facebook and Instagram. And then once, we started getting into consulting from other people, they're like, hey, you need to diversify your platforms because you're going to get capped out on Facebook and Instagram. So we started going into Google, Pinterest. We tried some Snapchat stuff and all that, but that didn't go too well. So right now, our dominant play is Facebook, Google, Pinterest. Pinterest does really well. We're in the beauty niche, so we hit a lot of moms in that industry. So those are the platforms that we focus on right now, besides email and SMS and all the back-end stuff. So right now, about, I would say 70%, 75% is Facebook, Instagram, and then the rest is probably like another 15% for retargeting on Google. We've tried pushing cold on Google, but it doesn't work that well for this industry. And then the rest is like Pinterest. So Facebook, Instagram is our dominant force, which makes sense. I think Facebook, Instagram is really good, depending on what niche you're in, but for beauty niche, that is what beauty thrives on, especially Instagram. Go massive on content, have a lot of influencers behind you, UGC creators, specifically the beauty niche. Like we're in some other health niches, we go dominant Google ads and we spend like 60-70% of our budget on Google in the health niche, and the rest comes from like Facebook because it's more for older people. So the first 100K, it was mostly from Instagram, and it was tough. It took us like 4 months to hit the first 100K, which in my opinion is pretty slow. But the reason why was because I believe the beauty niche is probably one of the hardest niches to get into. and it's driven off of content, driven off of creative. So like when you go start a brand right now, you can go scrape the internet and maybe, you know, get hit a home run, and you hit your first 100K in your second, third month or 6 months. But with beauty, you have to go spend money on creators. You have to go spend money on influencers, because people are not going to trust a product that has a Chinese woman behind it or something they've seen before and put it on their face. You got to have creators behind it. You got to have people talking about it. So that was the biggest obstacle for us, because we had to put money up front for creators. Not just that, I don't come from an influencing background where I go, you know, there's people that like, oh, all my money comes from influencers and meme pages and all that for their ad spend. So I had to learn what's a good creator versus a bad creator. What should we do? The scripts we should give them, all that. So that was a huge learning curve for us, and we wasted a lot of money. But, you know, it gave us the experience that we have now to now know, like, okay, if we're gonna get this creator that has 2 million followers on TikTok, 3 million followers on Instagram, what we can expect and what we're looking for, what brands do they work with, and what their comment section. For example, a quick tip, look at the comment section of these influencers to see who is it. Is it men or women that are commenting? That's usually how you can get a good gist of what their following is. Yeah, you can ask for the demographics and all that stuff. Sometimes they lie. I know there's softwares out here now that you can, they pull accurate data, but we have SOPs where it's like, look at the comment sections and see, you know, their engagement rate in the last like 60, 90 days. That's if you're gonna do like influencing when they post for you, but you just see creators where you're just trying to get content, doesn't really matter, just make sure they're really good. But yeah, that was probably the biggest thing to get to 100K was the content, specifically in the beauty niche. Like if you're in a different niche, you don't need it. Fitness, you don't need it as much if there's content on the internet. Now I do recommend it if you can get it, get the content because it's better for you and you avoid copyright. But yeah, if you're a beginner, you know, try to get your own content for sure, 100%. So I think the biggest, so here's the thing, and I talk to everyone in the industry. I got friends that are doing 2, 3 million, $10 million a month. The biggest thing that separates you from like 0 to 500K, 500 to a million plus is the platforms you're on. You have to be on multiple platforms. There is a ceiling on platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Google, Pinterest. And here's the reason why. If you have one bad month on Facebook, but you have an amazing month on Google, you're still gonna be profitable or you'll break even. But if you put all your eggs in one basket on Facebook and it's a terrible month, you just lost a lot of money, right? So you want to make sure you're on different platforms. And I believe truly, like every brand we launch now, we blend Facebook with Google every single time. And the reason why is because they go so hand in hand together that you catch them on front end with Facebook or Instagram, and then you retarget them on Google. That strategy goes a long way. Besides the ranking and all the shopping campaigns and all that, but Facebook, Google are a powerhouse. I highly recommend it. That's what got us to $6 million a month. And then obviously adding other platforms as well. The other thing too is just adding more SKUs. You can't just go to 5 million selling one product and think that's the only product you're gonna sell. You need to have more SKUs, have different products on there, different upsells. The reason why we're able to do 6 million is because we sell our product for $40 and they leave spending 80 to 100. Our AOV is double. And the reason why is because we have a whole funnel that they go through. Get on the top of the funnel, they have upsells, pre-upsells before they check out, post-upsell, down upsell, post-upsell, down upsell, email upsells immediately. So there's a whole system behind it. You can't get to 6 million a month, I know for a matter of fact, just relying on front end, number one, and relying on one product, number two, and not having any post-upsells or any upsells in general. You have to increase your AOV. It's a must. The last thing was, I think this is probably one of the biggest and most important things was my team. I wouldn't be able to do without my team. I don't media buy at all. I didn't media buy. Once we hit like $300,000 a month for this brand, I hired a whole media buying team because these are guys that live and breathe this on a day-to-day basis. I can't do operational stuff and media buying and run the business and all that stuff. So we have a whole team. We got 22 full-time employees right now. And the media buying was one of the biggest things is getting a full stacked media buying team for Facebook and Google. Make sure they don't do the same. It's not the same team. It's two different teams. They work together and you hire people that are smarter than you. So that's truly why we got to $1 million plus. I truly don't think I would have been able to get to $1 million plus just from my knowledge, but hiring people that have been doing this for so long, that manage so much ad spend, hire people smarter than you. So why am I not at $12 million a month? I don't know. I think I think it's a good problem. It's a good problem to have. I think it's top of my head. I think it's something where it's like you don't know what you don't know. Maybe there's something I'm not doing. Maybe it's a marketing cap. Markets do have caps. I know people in the industry, in different industries, are like, yo, I can't get past $250 billion a year. And I'm like, dude, come on, you're at 250, get past it. And there's market cap. So it's either market cap, something I don't know, or maybe just adding more products that we can add more SKUs to the brand to bring another $2-3 million from another product. So I think if we just find something in the market that we can add value to that's in the same niche, the beauty niche, that's a really good product, I think that can get us to $12 million a month.
Think the back end will be different?
Our back end's really strong. Like, if someone's doing a better back end than us, I would love to know. Love to know. I'll pay you $100,000 right now. Like, our back end is dialed. Like, emails, SMS, everything's like, it's insane. Like, it's crazy. If I showed you guys the back end with everything, you'd just be lost. Like, it's been worked on and crafted and molded for the last 2 years from like the highest level people you could possibly think of when it comes to email, SMS, and all those people. Upsells, post upsells. We've tested everything. Every single landing page is split tested to this day just to get stuff better. Every single post upsells tested, upsells. So we're constantly testing just to perform things because that 2% increase in a conversion rate goes a long way at scale. If you're getting another 2%, even 1% at $1 million a month, it's a lot of money. So, but yeah, dude, if you guys have any questions, drop a comment below. I answer, Hayden can answer them. But it's been a ride. It's definitely possible, so don't give up. Find a gap in the market, and be the solution to that gap, and just create systems and hire an amazing team, and let it ride.
All right. Oh, wait, that's the wrong side. This is what we're looking for. All right, so I wanted to share with you what I literally call the golden opportunity right now. Imagine something being easier than drop shipping in 2017, Amazon in 2012. I wasn't necessarily early to drop shipping, had to kind of fight and claw to get into it. Right now, it's easier than ever because of TikTok Shop. I've grown a new brand on there just as proof from 0 to 25,000 a month in 5 months with a 35 to 40% profit margin, a real brand. I started that with 10 grand, right? So I want to talk about a couple things with TikTok Shop real quick. Number one, ad creatives. The biggest difficulty for any e-commerce business and the bottleneck to scaling is ad creatives. This matters more than your ad strategy and anything else. Number two, the subsidies on the platform. If you don't know, TikTok has given over $5 billion of coupons, free shipping, all sorts of stuff to customers and sellers. So I might sell a product for 40, you'll pay 30, and TikTok's gonna pick up the $10 difference. I still get the 40 as a seller. So there's a lot of benefits there as they're trying to spark their new platform, and it's working. 3, organic sales. There's an organic ranking element, right? Previously I had to pay for all my traffic, so these sales are 70, 80% profit margin. That's 30 to 40% of my business. It's crazy, okay? Number 4 is social proof. Just like Amazon, you can see how many are sold. You can see the reviews. You can't get away from that. It's not like a crappy drop shipping store where it's fake. Like this TikTok Shop, it lasts. It's a real brand. People can actually trust it. And also platform trust. This is a big thing. TikTok is really strict with their rules. You have to have inventory, have to have the orders dispatched within 2 business days. There's a lot of specific rules sellers have to follow. And if they don't follow those, adios, you're out. So because of this, it's made TikTok Shop an incredible platform. And I have a lot of people I work with, consulting clients. I mean, they're making serious money. Not just the guys who are, okay, they get something working, it's doing $2 grand a week and they're trying to figure it out from there. I'm talking about like real numbers. People doing $10,000 days back to back to back. People doing $60,000 in a month and a half, like building businesses from scratch. That's not an easy thing to do if you go on Amazon these days or running Facebook ads. You got to fight and claw, but it can happen really quick with TikTok Shop. So if you want help, my entire coaching group is based around TikTok Shop. We talk a lot about e-commerce, but it's really TikTok Shop these days because that's the opportunity. Click the link down below. We'll be able to help you out. We do super in-depth personal coaching multiple times a week, a crazy course with all the information. It's the most up-to-date place. You can check it out down below. Answer a couple of questions. It'll bring you to a page where you can book a call. We'll be able to chat with you, at least help point you in the right direction. You know, TikTok Shop's a unique thing. It's definitely not for everybody, but the people we work with, it's been crazy for those who've been able to get it off the ground. And now let's sit down and chat cash flow, a really important piece of the business that never gets discussed. All right, now we're by the pool and we're gonna chat all things cash flow. So I'm curious to know, as you know, we were living together in California, you really started to scale things up. I think I was already at like a decent income level. What were you doing like then and like the year or two after with the cash you were starting to make? Were you doing anything with it? And by the way, bear with us. We only got the one mic, so we gotta.
In terms of like, what was I doing with the cash?
Yeah.
Like in terms of investing or in terms of Shopify?
Anything. What were you doing with the money flowing?
I was investing it. So my thing was I knew I wasn't the best at ecom. So every money I made, I just invested back into it. So I'd hire like mentors, join masterminds. I think the biggest mentorship I ever paid was like $17,000 just for like one-on-one. And I just knew even if I made profits, not to go, mess around. Can I speak? Can I cuss or no? Yeah. Not to go fuck off and just like go pop bottles and all that, like what everyone does. Now you do have that splurge, that situation where you start making some money and you start to like have a little fun, you go shopping, buy stuff, cars, watches, whatever that is for you. But I did that for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, get back on course, get back on track. And I just reinvested everything into a skill because I know if I can master ecom, master sales, that will make me as much money as I want.
Yeah. I think it's interesting. I banked cash for probably 2.5 years, afraid to spend it. And yeah, like I was also operating a lot out of fear. Like there was a whole situation where I kind of got kicked out of the house. I was, for me, it was like a do or die situation. So I banked a lot of cash until I had so much consistency where I was like, okay, like feel like we're good at this. And then I started buying real estate, after I left Newport and went to Arizona, started buying stuff. So that's where a lot of it went. And I look at all those investments and I'm like, it's freaking awesome. But I do think I would have made more money had I just kept doubling down on what was already working. And that's the trade-off,
And I think I remember us having that conversation because you went real estate route. And you were like, dude, why don't you buy some real estate, buy this or that? And it's a great route. Don't get me wrong. I love real estate. I think it's a great route for long term. Like if you sit on it, 20-year play, you're gonna be worth something 100% because the market's only going up. But the opportunity right now is so much bigger for tech, for e-commerce, for sales, like so much other things that are happening because you guys don't understand, like, dude, there's like 5 to 10 different industries that are blowing up all at once. You got AI blowing up. You got tech blowing up. Like I was with my brother in San Francisco, and he runs like a managing director of a bank, and he's like the biggest thing that's blowing up in the tech sector is AI right now. So they're throwing money at AI like crazy, and I'm just like, dude, AI company. Yeah. Like it's an easy way to just get in. Like that's what's happening. So like software, there's so much stuff. So I just looked at that and I was like, would I want to do park my money in something or just take that money and expand and build teams around that, have 5 different companies, build a team for software, build a team for this. So our next big venture right now is going to be software. So I want to put at least $500,000 million just into software.
That's awesome. And it's interesting to see the different perspectives because the way that I operated my business was, okay, the business comes first. I didn't put a ton of new money into like trainings for a couple of years, trying new things. The last 3 years, that's been different. But I took a lot of the money and put it off. I took a lot of chips off the table, almost a little bit too much so at times. But I bought enough real estate for me where like I don't have to do anything again. If I just do nothing, the retirement's taken care of, kids will be taken care of. Like that's a good feeling, So I can operate from that place of security, which now allows me to take some larger shots in the business space. For sure. Where like this stuff is there, it's good. Now I don't need to take cash. I don't need to take a salary out of the company. It's a different place. For sure. And
you also got that real estate background. Dude, you told me you got into some big masterminds, right?
Yes.
So like you now, like, dude, if you go play and you go, you're putting your money into other things now and you got, you sell a company for $10 million, so you want to throw $3 million at real estate, you know exactly what you're looking for.
Yeah. I mean, the big thing there is like it's a system to scalably deploy capital. So if I go get $100 million, I know what I do with it. Yeah. Like I have the system to do that, the people, the connections, the guys who own $500 million worth of real estate. So that for me was a system, but it did take away for sure. I'd have a bigger business, but it's tough to compare. So when it comes to e-commerce, we'll kind of route this back around to that. How do you handle cash flow from stuff? Because for an example, let's pull 3 different types of e-commerce. Standard Shopify with inventory, you're running a brand. Yeah. Drop shipping on Shopify, where you have no inventory cost, and the TikTok Shop, which requires inventory and has different platform rules on their payouts. TikTok Shop, the payouts are very slow, whereas Shopify, you get payouts like every day, every other day. Very different. How do you handle that and paying for inventory? Because you can have cash out on the street for months or more.
Well, if you're drop shipping, it's a little bit tougher if you're starting off Because if you do like PayPal, for example, they hold your money for 30 days till you build up the account. So that's sometimes it's one of those things where it's like when people are like, you don't need capital to start a business. Yes, you do. And I recommend it. But say for cash flow reasons, for drop shipping, Shopify pays you out. I think now they changed it now. It's like 3 to 5 days unless you use their bank. They've changed it. So
It's quick though.
yeah, it's quicker than like TikTok Shop. But for drop shipping, I mean, dude, it's just like, I wouldn't do PayPal, and it sucks because PayPal's really good, but they hold your money for like 30 days or like 15 days, and they release it, and that's a huge chunk of money, especially if you're at like slim margins with dropshipping. For actual brands, there's 2 ways that I go around it. If I'm scaling, because like, dude, when you have an actual brand, you have to put up 100, 300K POs of inventory that you're not going to get for another 30 days. And so that's a lot of money coming out of the bank. So what we did is we went to the bank and asked for a credit line. And if all the numbers make sense and you show the reports, you can get a credit line. And that's, I try to avoid asking like people for money unless I really need to. But I would go credit line, and you can easily get 25,000 in a credit line without them like verifying anything. Once you hit that like 30K range for stuff, they'll start to verify your taxes, your proof of income, and all that. But banks will give you credit lines all day long if they see money coming in. So that's how we did it with that. So like once they see all the money coming in, they're like, how much do you want? They see all the reports, the P&Ls. They'll give you 200-300K for inventory.
I want to say something on that because what you talked about was not when starting out. That was when you have proof of concept. And once you get that, it's very easy to get funding, whether it's from a private investor. I've funded people's stuff before. It's not a frequent thing that I do, but it's there because if something's working, take TikTok Shop for an example. I mean, you heard about it. The invoice I paid this morning for a student in my group was a store that's working. Yeah. But okay, it's working. Dude, you got to order inventories in the supplement space. You got to order it. It's got to get made, right? Then you got to wait. So it's 30 days to even get it to start selling it. It takes 30 days to sell all that out to recoup the cash, but then you don't get paid till a week after the order's delivered. Bro, your money's on the street for 3 months. Yeah. So as it grows, you can very quickly be out of cash. The money's just sitting waiting. But if there's proof of concept for something, it's much easier to get money.
For sure.
You know, now I've never gone the route in my business of a credit line. The only credit cards we've used is Charge Card, Amex, Business Gold. That's where we just do all the operations. Not to have a net 30 or anything on that, but it's just the rolling monthly. That's really all it is. So that gets paid off every month. It's never not been paid off, and that's more for points. I know a lot of people use the Amex Plum card because it gives you 60 days out on a payment.
Yeah, 60 days.
So a lot of people have like a net 30 worked out with their inventory, like for their supplier. Yeah. And then after 30 days, throw it on the Plum card. That gives you a 90-day runway, which kind of solves the problem for TikTok Shop.
That. We've had some clients use the Plum card.
You've had people use it?
Yeah, we've had some clients use the Plum card.
Yeah. I haven't played around with it, neither has he. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting stuff. So where do you feel comfortable cash flow wise? And we can just chat about the business side. Like for me, like there's a certain number I don't like to go below, especially when running multiple businesses. Like I need a few months of runway, And I will tell you one quick thing. When I was in Puerto Rico, because of real estate, between all my business accounts, personal account, real estate account, I drew my cash balance down to $2,200.
Holy fuck, bro. That's dangerous.
2,200, and this is like the 21st of the month.
That's ballsy.
So rent's in 9 days, payrolls in 10 days. Like, it was coming up. But there was a crazy real estate deal that ended up needing a little more cash, and I don't know what I threw, like 180 grand of the cash that I had there. And I'd been buying real estate every few months as I was moving down to Puerto Rico with all the tax-free money. And I put all that money out. I mean, since then it's made over 200 grand in additional profit, kicks off over 2 grand a month in cash flow.
Yeah.
So it works.
I think in that situation it makes sense, right? Like
2 grand.
To a degree, like I don't let my account go no less than 200K.
Yeah.
Personally.
Personal.
Yeah. Just because like I don't know if it's like my upbringing of like we didn't come from anything, like it's not daddy's money or oil money because I'm not Arabic at all. So like dude, people, you'd be surprised. People are like, yo, he's got oil money. Like dude, my neighbor's got oil money, and I know what oil money looks like. We didn't come from any oil money or any of that stuff. So so I think that is why, because I'm like I want to get. The one thing I wanted to do, the reason why I did entrepreneurship is because I wanted to be financially free more than anything, and that's why I probably no less than 200K.
Yeah.
But if there's like crazy investments that come up, I would just sell something, or if I had to, I could, but I would try to stay at 200K.
That's a good number. Because what, you spend 15 to 20 a month, just so people have a perspective? It depends on if you're traveling or whatever. You can live a great life on that. You know, you ain't got kids. You know, so for me, that number's more at 100. You know, and I usually keep cash and there's some kind of investment. So cash keeps running up until it's needed somewhere. You know, like the investment I just made pre-Series A into that e-com platform I told you about is a 6-figure check. That brought me down a little bit. Then you make it back. It is what it is. And then this e-com brand of mine's taken off, so you got a lot of money out in inventory. So it is what it is. Now, as promised, I'd like to go through some detailed financials on that e-commerce brand. And show you guys the actual back end, the financials, you know, daily, weekly, monthly chart, looking at the AOV, all the numbers, talking about the margin, talking about the cash that has to get put out at scale, what that looks like. People don't consider the rolling cash flow on it, you know? Like, I know people with 2 million on hold by TikTok Shop, millions on hold with Amazon. Like it can be a cash flow issue, even if your business is profitable. So let's take a look.
I think the biggest problem when you're scaling, people don't realize, and you're doing big numbers, is your cash flow. Because when you go place a $500,000 order, and 500K is coming out just for inventory, like, dude, that hits. It's rough. And you got ad spend in play, you got payroll in play. You haven't even sold any of that $500,000 yet. So yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. I think once I've had to like ask for like, you know, money from someone to, you know, spot me for 30 days for an inventory push, but there's always you can always find money in places. It just gets scary when it's your first rodeo and you have no one looking over your shoulder to be like, yo, like it's okay, because like I've never scaled that far before with someone. So that's what was like really scary, because I'm like, dude, if I drop 500K right now and for whatever reason something falls or I get banned on Facebook, Google, dude, that sucks. It sucks.
And that goes back to, you know, do you have inventory? Like when I was drop shipping, as you know, 2020 was hitting and we were doing 971,000 the month of March when the world shut down, it was all drop shipped, didn't have inventory, but I was prepping an inventory place order. And I was like so glad that didn't happen a month later. I would have been screwed because it was one vertical. One product, one vertical, 2 million a month. Like I say, but again, like if you get tied up with inventory, it can be problematic, but that's business. So let's take a look through some of the cash flow stuff and show you some game. All right. Leave a like for the transparency. All right. So from August 1st to September 5th, slightly more than a month, you got $6.655 million in sales. First of all, how does that make you feel? You ever thought you'd be saying that?
Not at all, dude. Every single day to this day, for the last, I don't know, since I started entrepreneurship, I wake up every morning, I'm like, thank God. Because I've never think in my life, all I wanted to do is be a multimillionaire. And to do $6 million in 1 month is crazy. Dude, $200,000 days, $100,000 days. Like, this is one on the slower months too. Like, we've hit like 7.5 too. I think this Q4 will probably, our goal is to break 10 million. I don't know if we will, but that'd be sick. That would be sick.
You will. So explain some of these spikes, you know, as people are looking at different marketing streams, especially on multiple platforms. You know, it's a big difference to be at, you know, 160K a day consistently, 130, and go all the way up to 600,000 in a day. What happened there?
So the difference is our drops. So we do massive email drops. So we'll lead up a campaign on the email side of things and then do an email drop for like deals or bundles, and that's where that spike comes from. A lot of our spikes come from the email drops. We've got a pretty good system now, so like we like to bring in we do a system first to collect as many emails as possible on the front end, even if they don't buy from us, because if they don't buy from us on the front end, they'll usually buy from the drops because they're so dialed in.
Gotcha. So let's do a quick breakdown on some of the numbers. I mean, you got over 1 million people visiting the store. It's a 5.6% conversion rate, which is very, very healthy. Obviously, in the e-commerce space, yeah, at scale, it's nuts. Average drop shipping store is like 1 to 2.5 tops. That's typically what we're seeing. Brands are in that 2 to 3.5. This is very high, very, very high. $67 average order value. Yeah. Right? It's actually right down here, but $65. And so, for somebody to be spending that amount of money, it's not your average, you know, $30 product, you know, $28 cart value. To have a 5.6%, very impressive, very impressive. So. Yeah, I mean, is this more of a front end play or a back end play? You know, you guys are in the beauty space here. Do you have subscriptions running? Talk about that a little bit.
I think the most satisfying thing is not the 6 million to me. The most satisfying thing is the 1.2 million subscriptions, because I can stop ads right now if I wanted to and still do $1 million a month, every single month, without doing anything. That is this is the reason why I started this business. It's the reason why we partnered up here was because we wanted, look at that, dude, 72% return customer rate.
We'll talk about that.
Yeah. Where is the subscription? Oh, yeah. 1.2 million subscriptions. That was the reason why I wanted to get in the beauty niche. Because anytime you can build a subscription-based model, your multiplier is much higher in exit, number one. Number two, dude, it just makes the most sense logically from a business standpoint. You don't have to go chase a buyer every single time to buy your product. They're coming every single month for you. And then the lifetime value is another reason we want to build a brand and an experience so they can actually come back and your return customer rate's much higher.
Yeah. It creates a base of cash flow as well. You know, when those subscriptions are hitting and it helps it, there's going to be slow months. There's going to be high months. There's, 2-3 month periods where Facebook is more expensive. That happens. It happens both the entire platform changes, but also your ad account price changes illogically. So all you can do is kind of play around, diversify your traffic, and a subscription base helps push through those months that are going to be low because they will happen. So, yeah, let's jump down here and talk about one of the craziest numbers. That when I saw this, the 6 million number is cool and all, and I was like, damn, nice work. Didn't know you were quite scaling that this high. And then he shows me this, and I was like, that 6 million number means nothing to me. This 72% returning customer rate for anybody in the e-commerce space, that's fucked. Sorry for my language. I've seen one company who wasn't really even in the e-com space had 45 to 50. It's the highest I've ever seen.
That's good.
That's crazy, and they do some subscriptions. But nuts. That is wild, and you can really only get that with subscription.
Yeah.
That's the thing.
The reason why it's that high is because subscription.
For sure, it's definitely subscription.
And just deliver a good product. I was talking to a client today, and he's like, "Hey, I got a supplier I can get for $10, and I got a better supplier that's $15. What should I do?" And I'm like, always go the best, because if you get your return rate higher, you don't have to pay for that customer again, number one, and you can always sell them other products. A lot of people mess up in the e-com space because they focus on just one customer. They want to sell to one customer and that's it. Get one customer and sell them 5, 10 times. That's how you win in any business. If you look at the biggest business in the world, it's because they sell to that customer thousands, hundreds, like an Amazon. Dude, have you bought something from Amazon one time? No. They keep,
a couple times a week.
Exactly. So you want to sell to a customer as many times as possible. That's how you win in business and anything in general.
Yeah, absolutely insane. So here's what we're going to do. Leave a comment. Any question you have, business cash flow, personal cash flow, probably e-commerce related after this video, but let us know what you want to see, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people don't get to see the real back end of a business. Okay, when do you start taking out serious money personally on a company that's taking cash? People might see, I got to $1 million a month, but that doesn't mean the owner's taking anything out. Yeah. If you're scaling, you got inventory, dude, the cars that we have over there, those are owned in cash. Okay, and that's not a flex. That's just less debt, less risk on that side of things. Nothing bad with a car loan or anything. I've done a couple. But to take out that money, right, it takes a lot of time to get a business to a sustainable point where you can take out significant distributions to do that stuff. It takes time. Yeah. I think a lot of people are thinking, I'm going to be able to have this crazy cash flow in 4 months. It's usually not the case. I found some of that with drop shipping for sure. I could turn it around quicker, but that's just not the direction that I see e-commerce moving. And I could be wrong. I've been wrong before, but I don't think I'm wrong on that. That's my entire business.
Yeah. So. I think e-com's completely changed. It's not 2018 anymore. Yeah. It's not even COVID times where it's 2020. You get a store up. Dude, I remember guys doing $100,000 a day when COVID happened, when no one was buying, no one's going out. They're just on their phone glued, buying stuff constantly. They could turn a store like this and they're doing, $500,000, $1 million in a month, really fast. Now, can you still make it happen? Absolutely. TikTok Shop, I would say, is a huge one, especially you, because you're definitely in that space. And it's the gold mine right now, because it's still, I believe, in my opinion, it's still untapped. Would you agree?
100%.
Yeah, it's just getting started.
It's very new, and if you talk to any e-commerce business owner, one of the biggest things, might not be the biggest difficulty in their business, but a major thing that's a theme that'll never go away is ad creatives. Whether it's picture ads, video ads, it's usually videos on all these platforms these days with social media. That's the bottleneck, is getting new, different, fun creatives constantly. That was my bottleneck in 2019 with all the dropshipping stores. That's why I love TikTok Shop, is because there's an unlimited element to that content. And that's has completely changed the business for me, being able to get that content at scale, because, the organic sales from that are sick. Super high margin. but that feeds the ad machine, and that's my machine. That's what I'm good at. That's my background. It's like when COVID was hitting, and we're doing cranking 70K a day with a stupid orthopedic product that was drop shipped. Great product, people loved it, but it was all one-time purchases. Yeah, there's an email in the back end, whatever. But like, and then I got shut down for no reason. Like the whole thing disappeared. You know, it's like I've seen every side of the business.
And I think the worst part is when you get shut down by Facebook, Google, and all that. But I think Facebook's changed a lot. I think now they've realized. I think they were still new to like the whole platform of advertising. Like now they'll give you a little bit more chances. They give you a little bit more leeway from what our experience. And then you also have like reps and stuff, which they're not always the best. Sometimes you get lucky, you have a good rep. But there's also people you can get access to fix your accounts and stuff. But I will say 80% of success with e-commerce across the board is creatives. It's driven off creatives. It's not your Facebook strategy. You know, people are like, oh, what's the new winning product and all that. And it's not that either. Like I've sold products that were like 2 years ago that were crushing later. And all I did was have a unique angle, you know. It's all about your angles, your marketing, and your content. Make sure you constantly have content, creatives that you can recycle, because that is truly like what gets you those 4, 5, 7 ROAS. And that goes for TikTok Shop and everything else. Anything that's newer in the industry is always going to be hot, just like how NFTs were like 2-3 years ago. Crypto's been kind of slow for the last like 2 years, you know. But when it popped in the beginning, it took off, you know. So yeah, creatives is huge. TikTok Shop's a massive one right now. There's just so much opportunity out there. You just got to take action. Like you literally just got to go in.
And that's why I'm seeing TikTok as the perfect like launch pad right now for a new brand. Like it's just, you can prove the concept, get all these affiliates on board, get so many ad creatives, and you get such an organic push. Like, dude, I don't know about you, but like, I never did SEO stuff. We never ventured into Google. It was all Facebook. So I would be genuinely shocked if more than $100 of my revenue from like the 15 to 20 million bucks we did just on Shopify was ever brought in organically, like random. People finding our store. Never happens. Nowadays, like 40 to 50% of our revenue on TikTok is just phantom traffic that's just happening.
Feels good.
75, 80% margin. I love it. Love it. So you don't get that elsewhere. So it's nice. So
just build a business. Like build a business. Like people think, oh, I'm doing drop shipping. It's a side hustle. Like build an actual business.
Yeah. It's been interesting, and I love watching you grow in the e-commerce space. I've been able to see it from the very beginning. Since before we were doing e-com, we were selling shout-out space to e-commerce companies on Instagram. We've gotten to see it in
the OG days.
Those were
Dude,
fun.
I think me and you started e-com like around the same time.
Yeah.
Like I remember our first product was like the push-up bras.
Yep.
In 2018.
So stupid.
Dude, we like ran up like 2,000-3,000 each of us. We had 2 different stores trying different things. Complete fail, but it was like one of the best experiences ever, because there's never such thing as a failure. It's all experience.
Except for when it fails. I'm just kidding. But all right, dude. Hey, I appreciate you coming on, bro. We'll let you get back to that cigar. We're gonna have some good chats the rest of this evening. But hey, appreciate you guys for tuning in. Again, I'll leave some resources and stuff down below. Hope you enjoyed this video. Super insightful on getting a chance to look at all the numbers in the back end behind this business and hear a different angle on the e-commerce world, because stuff like this just doesn't get shared. So drop a like, subscribe. I will leave his Instagram information linked down below. If you ever decide to post again, this kid's been ghost for years, but maybe we'll convince him. So who knows? Thanks, guys.
Take care, guys. Dude, I think we should fucking make a YouTube channel together, bro.